This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Habayim. We're continuing in Mishna Berura. We're up to Siman Yud Aleph, Siv Gimel. Yesterday we learned about Shazira Lishma. The day before we learned about Taviyah Lishma. Siv Gimel talks about Im Nisparku Mishazirasim Nasa Shisha Asar Ksherim. Let's say the strings unravel, and the 8 strings of the Tzitzis turn into 16 strings. Ksherim, they are kosher. V'hu sheishtar b'shizur k'dei aniva, provided that it's twined at least an amount to be able to make a bow. Hagal chachila tov likshar achutin lamata. L'chadchila, it's better to tie the strings below. Kilakaman b'sif yadalet b'simin zeh. I think we could say about our generation, achsher dara, because Baruch Hashem, we have very good tzitzis. I don't think ever in the history of the Jewish people they have such good tzitzis. Moreover, we live in a very affluent society. So, my grandfather's tzitzis, he wore tzitzis for many years, a pair of tzitzis. Nowadays, every few days you have to get another pair of tzitzis, So, but for us it's not really a major concern. But if somebody does have tzitzis for a while and it starts to unravel, then it's still good provided you have a minimum of shizur k'dei aniva. L'chadchila, you should tie it on the bottom. Says the Mishna Berura, "V'nasu shishasar perush shenaspari kalash menachut," in all 8 strings unraveled. Or v'levusa the reisha nakde. It picked this for the chidush of the reisha, meaning that if it unravels, even if it's 16, it's still kosher. The same thing would be if you had 2 strings, and became 4, gam keminu shishtar k'dei aniva, meaning the chidush of 16 is that it's kosher if, even if it happened to all 16. But the second qualification, namely you have to have k'dei aniva, is even for 2 of them. In other words, if 2 of them unravel, you need that it remain k'dei aniva. Di'lav hachi pasal, otherwise it's pasal to have a k'may shenachsu shnei chutin b'tzitzios. Otherwise it would be like you're missing 2 strings. The pasal em lo diktek b'shas asiyah she'el olam arba rashim mitzad echad. Unless, in other words, what's the reason why if you have 2 strings it's pasal? Because it's like you're missing 2 strings. Why, if you're missing 2 strings, it's pasal? Because we're afraid that it's the same string and you're missing an entire string. Masha'en kain, if you're careful to make sure the 4 heads are always on one side, so if 2 of the strings are unraveled, it's on separate strings, then that would be a way to take care of the issue. K'dei aniva, v'yafagav the yesh poislim im nifsku kulana fil nishtar k'dei aniva, k'mash goes to 7 yud beis, even though some pasel, if they become snapped, even if you're left with k'dei aniva, like we say in 7 yud beis, v'kamakam b'shazira samchinan adeya rishayna. By nifsiku, we say, if they all snap, even if you're left with k'dei aniva, they're pasal. So k'dei aniva is not good enough by pisuk, by shazira, by unraveling. We could rely on the first daya, who we paskin like, k'mashe pasuk sham magen avram prim magad vayin sham. V'da oid, da Shulchan Aruch mar davka b'shazur kochot l'shnayim. Shulchan Aruch is talking about where the string is twined from 2. Avalim kafel v'shazur l'arba. But if the string is twined from 4, like is very common nowadays, and the 1 string turned into 16, even if you don't have k'dei aniva, it's kosher, because, in other words, not the 1 string turned to 16, but rather, if each string consists of a number of different strings and it unravels, even if you don't have k'dei aniva, it's still good. Why? Because even though the string unraveled, of the part that unraveled, it's still twined. because it's not made out of one, it's not made out of two strings, it's made out of four or more. So even though one of them unraveled, but the other part of it is still twined together with two. Regarding, does this present a problem about Tosef? Look in the Bir Halacha. So the Ramah said it's good to tie it on the bottom. Some say Adarabba, it's better not to tie it. The correct thing is to be machmer imhim shazurim yafeh. If they're twined well, that it's not common, it's not likely that it would unravel. In other words, it is correct to be machmer l'chayra and not to tie it on the bottom, not to tie it on the bottom, if they're twined well and it's not likely they will unravel. Okay, Rabbi say we are going to hold it here for today. We'll see everybody, Be'ezus Hashem, a week from tomorrow, next Wednesday. We are up to date currently. In other words, when we start next Wednesday in Sif Dalet, we will be up to date. We over the last couple weeks, we got 4 days ahead. So, wish everybody a wonderful week and bracha v'hatzlacha. Now is a good time to chaza over the first 10 simanim, at least mechaber Ramah, and we'll see you Be'ezus Hashem in a week. Kol tov everyone, bracha v'hatzlacha.
Can I ask? I saw in the talus factories, is there an issue they glue the bottom of each tzitz, it shouldn't unravel?
Is there an issue? What?
And the bottom of the tzitz, so it shouldn't unravel. The talus factories, they glue it. They have a person and is there an issue with that? Or or not? And all the big ones, they do it.
Yeah, they put they put wax. Sometimes they melt a piece of some wax there. I mean, I would imagine it's okay. I don't think we saw anything that would. I don't think we saw anything that would make it problematic. Usually, we say that a chefza shel mitzvah, it has to be mutar meficha. It has to be something that you're allowed to eat. We know that applies by tefillin, because it's tashmishe kedusha. We didn't have yet whether that applies by talis. But nothing that we learned would make that problematic. But we're only starting Hilchos Tzitzis, so let's see. Yeah, kol tov everyone. Thank you.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.